Everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Bruno Fernandes is facing a ridiculous ban from the FA in the fallout from the 7-0 drubbing by Liverpool yesterday, and also is facing a ridiculously biased media and attention that wants to individualise a performance when it was a disgraceful performance collectively. It's almost like some of these people go, you're British, you're British, you're British, oh, non-British, let's blame it on him. I'm tired of it, enough is enough. And why I really have done this on That's Football and not on the United Stand is because I really want to get the opinions of not just United fans, but everybody on this, on how you perceive Bruno Fernandes, but also how you would perceive this if this was in your football club. So let's get into it, because breaking news is that Bruno Fernandes will be investigated by the FA despite the referee not taking any action yesterday. Now, on top of that, we've had Gary Neville, I think, has said that Bruno Fernandes wanted to be taken off in the game. I've looked at the clip. I think that's complete and utter witch hunt nonsense, and it's dangerous that that gets put in the public arena with that sort of millions of people watching, that Bruno Fernandes was trying to get himself subbed off at 6-0. Bruno Fernandes, who as Manchester United captain has played more minutes than any other player on that pitch this season, wants to come off with 5 minutes to go. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for 1 minute. And I can't see the clip that shows it conclusively. So to throw that accusation out there, unless you know it's 100% true, is ridiculously dangerous. Imagine if someone was commenting on an Arsenal game and said Thomas Partey did it, or De Bruyne did it, or Mo Salah did it. It's not on. And again, I'm tired of it. And maybe you don't get it with your clubs, but we get it with Man United all the time. If you're a British player, forget about it, you're fine. If you're a foreign player, whether you're David De Gea, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Martial, Paul Pogba, Rafael Varane, Martinez, it goes on and on and on. And we've just lost 7-0 because the whole team was shit and everybody's talking about Bruno. It's bloody ridiculous. This is a guy who was captain of Manchester United, has captained us 19 times this season. We've won 12 times, we've drawn 4 times, and we've lost 3 times. We've lost 3 games in 19 with him as captain. Our loss percentage with Bruno in the team is 16%. We only lose 16% of our games when he's on the pitch as captain. Without him this season, when it's been Maguire and Ronaldo captain one game, we've lost 50% of our games. And people want him to be stripped of the captaincy for one game where we got stuffed and everyone else was crap. Oh, he's petulant, get rid of him. When he's petulant and we're winning, it's absolutely fine. I call it the shithouse effect. There are players. Xhaka is a shithouse. Arsenal fans love him. Bruno is a bit of a shithouse. We should be celebrating him, not throwing him under the bus as ex-players and fans of this club. And as for the bloody... I've got to get into this one. As for this, Bruno facing an FA ban, I don't normally like what Dermot Gallagher says on Sky Sports on a Monday morning. He basically said, no, it's not a red card. You've got to leave that because the linesman actually puts his hands on the player more than the player does, and was basically saying that, look, linesmen and referees are there to be protected, but they're not there. They haven't got one rule for one and one rule for the other. And then he's, for the first time in a long time, in weeks, he's right. If Bruno Fernandes gets a ban for pushing the referee in the back, which was more of a little, leave me alone, what message does that send out to football, kids, the lot? The linesman can grab hold of a player on their arm and move them away, but if the player touches them back, no. Referees and linesmen must be protected, but they don't have a right to physically grab players and not expect to get a push back. I disagree with that, and I agree with Dermot Gallagher there. But you know what pisses me off is I know 100% he's probably going to get a 3-match ban for that, because the FA love it. They absolutely love it. They love an opportunity to go after Manchester United. And I'm going to call this out as well because I'm tired of it. It's very centric on certain clubs. I'm sure Arsenal fans feel like this at times, maybe Chelsea, Liverpool fans. I watched Man City against Newcastle at the weekend, right? 2 incidences that pissed me off at the time, and thankfully we were doing a watch along and I called it out. Jack Grealish, 100% on the footage I saw live, kicks out at Dan Burn. Never got replayed really in the game, never got mentioned over the weekend, hasn't been mentioned at all. There will be no retrospective action. Erling Haaland grabs Dan Burn round the throat. I'm not saying he should get a red card, but we lost a player for 3 games because of that. We didn't have Casemiro playing games of football for Manchester United because of that. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. Bias. I've had enough of it. But, you know, a Man United player breaks up a fight and grabs someone's collar, 3-match ban. A Man United player pushes a linesman off him because he's been grabbed by the arm, there'll be another 3-match ban. Man City player kicks out in petulant. I mean, somebody said to me at the weekend, wow, the reason Grealish did that, they didn't even say he didn't. Nobody, I put a tweet out at the time. Loads of Arsenal fans agreed with it. Quite a few other fans agreed with it. A few Man City fans disagreed with it. But not one of them said he didn't do it. The best reply I had was, well, the reason Jack kicked out is because Dan Burn scraped his foot along him. Oh, that's fine. That's absolutely fine then, is it? So nobody said he didn't do it. Did you see a replay of it on Match of the Day? Was it mentioned on the refereeing incidents on Monday morning on Sky? Was it mentioned in the game itself? No. But if it's a Man United player, and they'll spend 5 minutes talking about it. It's a nonsense. And also, it's not just Man United players, it's British bias. British bias, as per usual. Grealish is an English player. Leave him alone. Oh, Bruno. I'm telling you, Man United fans know this. I'm intrigued if you have this at your own clubs. The bias around British and non-British players at Manchester United has been going on for years, and it's bloody ridiculous. And I wake up to it this morning, and I see it yesterday. I went to bed last night, 7-0, absolutely embarrassing. Fair play to Liverpool. They took us to the cleaners, and we got annihilated. And I said, even in the height of my frustration, I'm not individualising this. You know, I thought Anthony was horrific. I thought, you know, I can tell you who I thought the 3 worst players on the pitch were: Anthony, McTominay, and Luke Shaw. But they weren't the blame. They weren't the fault. I thought they were the 3 worst of very bad performances. Well, 2 of those are British straight away, so they're not going to get a mention. And Anthony, well, everyone's been slagging him off unfairly for weeks. So where to go? Bruno. That's the one to go for. And I just look. At the end of the day, you talk about 7-0, we're still 7 points ahead of Liverpool. We're still comfortably third, and we've won a trophy, and we're still comfortably in the Europa League and the FA Cup. We're out of the title race. It's a horrific loss, and United fans are going to take a while to get over it. But the reaction to jump onto Bruno Fernandes, he shouldn't be captain of Man United, he's petulant, get him out of our club. And I'm like, oh my God, if there was ever an example of bias and jumping on somebody and blaming them for something that actually isn't on them, my God. And then to have a story go out. I mean, I did a video with Ben Foster on the Football Fill-In today. It'll be out later on. And I think he's been convinced by this as well. But I can't find the footage. But I think he's going off the story. Because it was mentioned, I was driving over there this morning and it was on the radio. People saying Bruno Fernandes wanting to come off the pitch. I've watched the clip. I've searched for the clip. If I see evidence of it and it's true, I'll hold my hands up and say he shouldn't be doing that. But I've followed Bruno Fernandes for years at Man United. Everybody knows what his personality is. He can have bad games. He'll never stop running. He can be petulant, but he'll never not turn up for a Man United game. We were talking about last week how he's a robot. He's literally played about 400 minutes more than any other player. You know, even De Gea, who's a goalkeeper who plays most games, he's always on the pitch. He never wants to get taken off. So to hear a story where Bruno Fernandes has said, why am I not coming off when it's 6-0? And he's got the captain's armband on. It makes no sense at all that he'd want to go off in a game like that. He just wouldn't do it. It's not who he is. And watching the clip, I think it's because he's about to take the kick. He's on the centre circle after a goal, about to take the kick, and he goes like this because there's confusion about who's coming on. I don't know how you say he's coming off. I think it's a disgrace to say he's coming off, and I think it's been completely and utterly misinterpreted. And I don't know where it comes from. Apparently Gary Neville said it. I haven't heard Gary Neville say it. Maybe somebody told Gary Neville it. Maybe Sky have told him it. But I think there needs to be an apology. And if I was Bruno Fernandes or Manchester United, I would be demanding an apology, because what we've effectively got now is, as I try to work through this disgusting loss to Liverpool, and we can't wait for the game on Thursday, I'm like, all I can see now is Bruno this, Bruno that. You've got Simon Jordan going in on Bruno Fernandes. Everyone's going in on Bruno Fernandes. And this, to me, the 7-0 doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter because we've gone down the wrong road. Everyone's taking a pop at Bruno. Well, fuck that. I'm not doing that. That's just a waste of that's not the story here. I'd rather talk about the subs. I'd rather talk about how it happened, how the whole team fell apart. But no, as is always the way, there's a non-British player that we can blame it all on. Let's go. Let's pile on. I'm not there for that. I'm not there for that at all. I think it's a complete and utter nonsense. And you know what? I could make something up. I mean, I like Marcus Rashford, so people won't believe it. But I could say, you know what? When you're not, Rashford's fine when everything's going well, but as soon as it goes wrong, he's shit. I could start that. And to be honest, if Marcus Rashford wasn't English, maybe they would start all that. It's complete nonsense because Rashford wasn't the problem yesterday either, just like Bruno wasn't the problem. The whole team was the problem. But individualising it, the FA ban, it's just a pile on. It's a pile on, and that's what sort of like when I go, I'm done with that. I'm just looking forward to Betis now because I can't be doing with that. You know, a loss like that is disgusting, and it's a collective. As soon as it starts getting individualised, and as I said, 19 games as captain Manchester United this season in the Premier League, Bruno Fernandes. We've won 12, we've drawn 4, we've lost 3. His win percentage is 63%. We win 63% of our games with Bruno Fernandes, which is fantastic in this Premier League season. A 63% win percentage is very good. And we only lose 16% of the games that he's played, he's captained us in 19. Without Bruno Fernandes, there's been 6 games this season. We've only won 3 of them. We've had a 50% loss rate with Maguire or Ronaldo as captain. And to be fair, the games that we won with Maguire as captain were Bournemouth at home, West Ham at home and Leeds away. All relegation fodder. So it's not like we've won decent games without Bruno as captain either. But look, the pile-on will continue. Get your comments in below. Some people are going to completely disagree with me. That's why we do these videos, of course. It's, you know, we try to talk about things that are debatable. But try and put yourself in the head of if it was one of your players. You know, is that ban right when we've just seen Grealish kick out this weekend and Haaland grabbing someone round the throat? I'm not saying Grealish and Haaland should get sent off, by the way. I'm just saying the focus on the United incident is always the same, and it happens with Arsenal as well, to be fair. And then this pile on. How dangerous is it to accuse a player of wanting to come off at 6-0 when there's no evidence of it? How dangerous is that to put that in the public arena and the damage it does to a player's reputation? Look, I've had it levelled at me. I'm minor. Over the years, people have made stuff up about me and then some people believe it. But for Bruno Fernandes to be accused of wanting to come off the pitch as captain when he's played all those minutes and could easily have had a sore leg, I don't want to play. He more than anybody wants to play every minute for Man United, and now he's being accused unfairly of wanting to come off. Not right. Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you in a bit.